I'm testing the NYX Born to Glow foundation in 3 different colors. Hi, I'm GloryB, and this is GloryB-TV, a lifestyle channel for mature women who want to look fabulous, feel amazing, and age gracefully. I'm testing the NYX Born to Glow foundation. I would say it's a medium coverage foundation. I want to know, how does it look on my skin? Can I find a color that works for me? Does it really glow? Is it a good glow, or is it a glow that shows off my wrinkles or fine lines? So I bought it in 3 colors. Now my skin is more of a cool tone. And when you look at this foundation online and click to drop down the colors, you'll see a description in parentheses next to the actual color name. So there were 3 that said cool. So I bought all 3 because I thought if any of them don't work, I'm going to return them to Ulta. So they have a good return policy. So I bought it in the light ivory, the light porcelain, and the porcelain. Now I would say these are not necessarily cool. I did do an arm swatch so that you could see on the inner arm of my forearm, which is very close to the face color, how it swatches. So the one on the left is the light ivory. The one in the center is the light porcelain. That one's very light. And the one on the far right is porcelain. Now, I immediately deleted the light porcelain because it's way too light for me. Even though my skin is really light, but that was just too light. The light ivory and the porcelain I thought were still a little bit on the orange side. But sometimes by the time they're on my face and they're buffed out and I have the rest of my makeup on, they look a little better. So let's get right into the demo. So I'm going to show you me putting it on and putting on the rest of just my face makeup, and then I do my eye makeup and the rest of my face off camera, and then we'll come right back. And my microphone didn't turn on, so I'll do a voiceover even though you'll see me talking. So my skin is not doing really well right now. I'm testing some things and you'll see a lot of redness. So I'm going to start with my Pixie corrector just to be fair to this foundation, because that's what I use every day no matter what foundation I'm using. And I'm going to put it on my under eyes, and I'm also going to put it on all of these red spots and red sections and discolorations, because I don't think, even with my full coverage foundations, this is what I use, and it just covers really nicely and stays in place. I want to swatch these foundations again. So this one is the light ivory. The second one in the middle is going to be the light porcelain. You can see how light that is. And then the third one is the porcelain, which is the one I chose to keep. It's not as orange as the one on the far right. It's not as light. And I'm actually going to wipe them all off and start over with the porcelain. So here I'm going to just dot the porcelain color on and smush it around with my finger, just with the warmth of my finger, before I use a brush to buff it out. I like to be really careful around all the areas where I've already put the Pixie corrector. I don't want to mess that up with the brush, and I want to make sure that I get good coverage there. And then after I brush it out, we'll take a look and see if I need any more. So I'm finding that this foundation is not really full coverage. I would call it medium coverage. I don't know how glowy it's going to be. I like a little bit of glow with my foundation. I don't like lots of glow at my age. So right now I'm getting ready. Well, I'm putting a little bit more on. And I have cut out considerable amounts of my chatty get ready with me here, but I'm also going to do makeup to a certain point, and then not my entire face. So here I'm buffing it out with an e.l.f. brush, which I'll list in the description box below. I love this brush. It's only a few dollars. It's flat. and it gives a nice finish. Now, I thought I still saw some red right there on either side of my nose, so I'm going to take a little bit more of the NYX foundation, and I'm frowning here because I'm looking at the tube to try not to get too much out, because you can't put it back into the tube, of course. And I'm just dotting it on that red part and looking at it, making sure it's enough coverage, and then I'm going to take my buffing brush again and lightly go over it to smooth that out to get a really nice finish and cover all of that yucky red looking as much as possible. Of course, in the bright lights, who knows. So now I have my Emlyn under eye cover cream, but I use it as a highlighter on both sides of my nose. And then after I tap it into the skin on both sides of my nose, I'm going to use another buffing brush to buff that out. It gives a really nice highlight without being shiny all day. I also like to put it with my concealer brush. I like to put it in this upper inner corner of my eye, and I'll smooth it out with my fingers, but I'll finish smoothing all that out and blending it in when I do my eye makeup, and that just brightens that eye area. It's not a sparkly finish, it's just plain bright. Now I'm going to use the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. This is a very affordable powder with a large brush. And I'm going to put it, normally I just put it where I'm going to put powder blush, maybe some bronzer. But when I'm filming, I notice everything looks a lot more shiny than it does in real life. So I'll put some on my nose, my chin, a little bit on my forehead. And now I have the L'Oreal True Lumi bronzer in the lightest color it comes in. I love this bronzer. And sometimes I can get away with using this bronzer without blush. So I'm going to use a medium-sized fluffy brush and just put it kind of under where I'm going to be putting some blush. I am going to put a little blush on, and at my cheekbones, a little bit on my forehead, but just with a really light hand. And that's it for the bronzer. Now for blush, I'm going to use the Milani Baked Blush. It has some glow in it. This is the Rose D'Oreo color. Just going to put a little bit on. I notice in the playback that it always looks like I have a lot of blush. And now I'm going to go put on my other makeup. So this is how the color Porcelain looks on me a little bit later in the day after all of my makeup is done. I don't think it's too different from the rest of my skin color, so it's not as orangey as I thought it was going to turn out by the time it's buffed out with my buffing brush and I have the rest of my makeup on, which isn't too much. I am seeing some glow in the studio lights. You probably can see that too through the camera. I have worn this on a couple other days. During the day, looking in a mirror, I didn't think it looked so glowy, but that can be a good thing when we don't want to have too much glow. When we're after 50, we want a little bit of glow, but not too much. Check out one of my other videos by clicking its image on the right side of your screen, and I'll see you in the next video.